This is Smarter San Diego TV.
Biggin. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? I want to talk about your show, because you do your own little show.
I do.
Ask a Realtor.
You don't have to call it little.
Going through the pregnancy, was that something where you had some ups and downs?
So you delivered twice in one day. That was awesome.
Yeah, I closed it and then yeah. When you are your own HOA, because you own every unit in that complex, you decide how long someone needs to stay there to actually meet that limit.
Could be a PETA. You know what that means, Rebecca?
I don't.
Pain in the ass. And in a market like this, sellers don't have to deal with PETAs.
Welcome to Smarter San Diego TV, where we guarantee to make you smarter than everyone else, and we do it all commercial free. I'm Rebecca Peters, your co-host, introducing all of our fabulous guests for today. But first, let's meet your host, Derek Evans.
Thank you, Captain Bun. What did I call it? When you have a bun like that, what do you call someone?
A woman? I mean, they do have the man bun, though.
Well, that's the thing. It's been more of a man thing recently, the bun.
Yeah.
Are you trying to bring it back for women? Is that the statement you're making right now?
No, I was just trying to master the messy bun. You'd be surprised how hard it is to get a nice...
Get all that hair up in a bun?
Messy bun without having stray hairs going east and west and yeah.
Next time you do Man in the Street, will you wear your hair like that?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys...
If I can.
This week you guys went to Mission Beach, right?
Yes, we went to Mission Beach.
Okay, that's a fun place. The coaster, it's happening.
Yep, Belmont
going
Park and all of the arcades and shops.
What was the theme today?
The theme is superheroes.
Superheroes.
Yes.
Ooh, wow. Get a free ticket to the gun show there. All right, let's check it out.
What's up, San Diego? So as some of you may know, Comic-Con is officially sold out, and in less than an hour that is. So I'm down here at Mission Beach talking to some of the locals and some of the visitors about who their favorite superheroes are. Let's go. Who is your favorite superhero? And tell us why.
Superman is my favorite superhero because he could do anything.
I have a couple. Is that cool? Can I name top three?
Storm, because she can control the weather and fly.
Spider-Man.
I have to go with Batman.
When I was younger, Wonder Woman.
So Goku, Dragon Ball Z.
I was Wonder Woman every Halloween.
Because he doesn't really have a power or anything. He's just a tough guy.
Batman is a punk. He's a rich kid with a fancy belt. Superman is the guy.
He is cool and stuff.
Shadowcat, because she can walk through stuff, which is really cool.
Superman and Wolverine.
Now, if you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Flying. Flying would be kind of cool.
Oh, flight, for sure.
To fly.
Flying, for sure.
Teleportation, so I could just teleport anywhere. And then flying. Flying would be nice.
To turn invisible.
And if you had that superpower, what would you want to do with it?
I would destroy the Earth.
I'd fly in and out of universes.
Be able to just jump up and fly. Take off.
Flying, I would just fly, traffic,
Thinking about it now, it'd be kind of tough, right? It could be all cold and everything, and I couldn't bring my stuff, but...
Why do you want to be invisible?
Then nobody could see me.
And there you have it. Go ahead and comment on our Facebook about who your favorite superhero is, and maybe what type of superpower you would like to have, and how you'd use it. Derek, back to you.
Destroy the planet?
I know, I was surprised by that.
What's up with that guy?
I don't know. He was very serious about his superheroes, though.
Oh, really? You asked the wrong guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was very serious about the superheroes.
The kid was cute.
He was adorable.
Yeah, that's funny. I want to be invisible so no one can see me. What are you going to do, buddy?
I was surprised that I was expecting more women to be like, oh, I love Batman, or I love Superman, or Spider-Man. Couldn't get any woman to talk on camera. Not even to say, Captain America's sexy or something.
Well, the problem is with y'all is that y'all are too worried about how you look on camera. That's the problem. It's tough to go, you can't stick a camera in a woman's face. Every man knows this. Okay, but we send you and Angela out on the street.
At the beach.
At the beach.
Beach hair.
People are wearing nothing and, they're expecting just chill.
Touché.
And you start to, stick cameras in their face. So that makes total sense to me. That's why I send you guys to do it, because I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But great piece, though.
Yeah.
Really cool. What's up next? Do we know which beach we're doing next?
I think we're going to be going to Imperial Beach.
Imperial Beach. Oh, that'll be good.
Yes.
You know, I've never even been to Imperial Beach.
Neither have I, so
Really?
I'd like to
Isn't that sad?
try
I've
it
never been
out.
to Imperial Beach. We live in San Diego County. Let's get to this week's question of the week. We got a jam-packed show today. I want to get to it.
Yes. All right, so this week's question of the week is from Bob in Ocean Beach, and he writes in, I've been thinking about selling my stocks and buying rental units as I don't trust the stock market anymore, and these recent swings have been giving me an ulcer. However, I've been hearing on your show that it's not such a great time to buy real estate. Please advise.
Well, it's not a great, Bob, it's not a great time to buy real estate, but that doesn't mean that it's a bad time. So I'm glad he asked this question because a lot of times people think it's got to be black or white. And if you're buying rental units in cash, you can really never go wrong because you know exactly what you're getting. If you have $1 million in cash and you want to buy 4 $250,000 condos, it really doesn't matter if those condos are worth $170 the next year or $570 the next year, except for your tax basis. What you are doing is you are investing the money based on the rent that you can get. So what matters more than what the price of those units are is what is the price of those units versus what you can get in rent. And Bob, that's the only thing you should be looking at if you're looking to buy rental properties, no matter what the market is or what interest rates are. If you're buying them in cash, then the only thing that matters is how much does it cost for me to get this cash flow? How much am I buying this cash flow for? The good thing about real estate is that you can trust it a lot more than the stock market because you are getting an underlying physical asset. It makes a lot of sense right now with turmoil in the global economy. Whenever you see gas prices this low, the stock market should be going down every single day, and it's not. Something's wrong. That's been the case for a while, so who knows what will actually happen. But if you want to be on the safe side, you have a great big investment account, I would peel some of those profits off and reinvest that into real estate. It actually does make a lot of sense. And here's the thing that's crazy, Beck. A financial advisor nor a real estate professional can ethically advise someone to do that.
And why is that?
It's considered a conflict of interest,
Oh,
which makes
okay.
sense. Makes sense. If you're in real estate, you can't tell someone to sell their portfolio and then go buy real estate because they're thinking, oh, well, you're just saying that because you're in real estate. You want to make a commission, and therefore that you cannot give that advice ethically. Okay, according to the enforcement agencies for both parties. And when it comes to financial advisors, exact same thing. They can't tell you go sell real estate and buy stocks. So they could tell you to sell stocks and buy real estate, but very few financial advisors are going to tell you that. So Bob, you're onto something here. This does make sense. Take a look at it. There still are good deals out there. There still are investment opportunities out there, but not all opportunities are really opportunities. So be careful with what you do. I'll be happy to help you, of course, offline. That's what you can do when you email the show. Not only will we respond to your questions on TV in some cases, but we will always give you as much personal touch as we possibly can. We appreciate you writing in to the email address on the screen. All right, we got a jam-packed show today. I got to get my jacket on. It's time to start the show.
Our next guest is the creator of a phenomenal charitable event called Laughter for a Cure. Please welcome my dear friend, Riley Bacon.
Bacon. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Doing well.
Yes, here.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, so Laughter for a Cure. We want to tell people about how they can have some laughs and help us find a cure. Tell us what this is all about.
Yeah, so the name's a little bit misleading. We want to find a cure, but obviously we don't have the scientific studio to do so. So really we just do it the best way we know how, which is through laughter. Because laughter is a great cure, a great medicine for everybody. And a lot of people have a lot of things they want to forget, a lot of things going on in life, and we try to help them forget that with Laughter for a Cure. We also donate to a bunch of different organizations, which is really a great thing because we don't just focus on one. We want to jump around a little bit and help everybody.
Okay. Is there a theme going on ultimately? I mean, it sounds like it's about cancer. Is that right?
It's based around cancer due to deaths in my family, people being diagnosed with it, friends, family alike. Everybody's dealing with it. So we really just want to give back to different spots. We do try to do local. Started off doing American Cancer Society, but it's so large, so big, we don't feel like our money is making that impact that it could if we were doing it locally. So we're keeping local, and we're moving up to Santa Barbara because that's where my cousin was when she was diagnosed. And this company has helped her immensely. It's the Teddy Bear Foundation.
The Teddy Bear Foundation, and that's what this particular event is about, right?
This one this year is about the Teddy Bear Foundation. This is the 3rd annual Laughter for a Cure, and I wanted to wait a little bit to build a base for it. I didn't want to do the first one donating to them because might not be too many people. But we expect about over 100 people at this one, and really excited about doing it. And they've done so much for my family. I just really want to give back to them.
Okay, understandable. So why did you want to start this in the first place? You said this is the third annual, so it's been a little while. You guys have
third annual. So this actually marks the third year since my cousin's passing. Laughter for a Cure, we started because my cousin was diagnosed with cancer at 15. She happened to pass at 18. So this marks the third annual. Wanted to start it really because she was just an amazing person that wanted to help everybody. She cared more about other people than she did herself. A little story I have about that. I went to go visit her and saw her in hospice, and it was the sweetest thing that I'd ever seen because she was asking if everybody else was okay. Like, oh, can I turn the fan on for you guys? It's like, no, just lay there. Just do you. And it was just the sweetest thing I'd ever seen. So I really wanted to give back a little bit and keep her legacy going of that helping, that joy. She never let it get to her. So that's why we want to make sure everybody's laughing, having a great time.
Yeah, having a great time enjoying the life that
just
we have.
That we have, exactly.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. So are you a comedian, or what do you do in your life?
I do a little bit of anything and everything. I comedy, radio, started off in radio with Wakin' with Bacon, then started doing comedy, and that's about when she was diagnosed, and we just kind of picked it up from there. I was just doing a lot of comedy stuff, and she was really proud of it and had fun with it, so I just wanted to keep it moving. As far as different stuff that I do, I mean, camera work, we do radio stuff. I've worked with Becca in the past. We've worked over at Palomar together for a while, and I gotta give my props out to Palomar. They really helped everybody out.
Yeah.
Just the amazing.
Cool program.
It's an amazing program.
Yeah.
They offer so much and allowed us to get out and venture out to where we are.
What would you like to see as a result of this event, Laughter for a Cure? What would you like to see come of it?
What I would love to see come of this, just be a household name. If you hear Laughter for a Cure, you know it's going to be comedy for a good cause. That's what I basically want out of this.
Okay, comedy for a good cause. And there's, the comedy scene in San Diego is pretty dynamic. There's a lot of really good comics around. People don't know this. It's very interesting. Yeah. If you're a fan of comedy, like I am, me and Nikki love going to comedy, you can go out, you can see great shows just about any night of the week. Great shows. Amazing. We really are spoiled by it.
Anywhere in San Diego as well.
Totally.
North County, Central,
Yep.
South Bay.
Oh yeah, downtown's even got a couple spots now.
Yeah.
In actual downtown proper, you can go to American Comedy Company, Madhouse Comedy Company's down there. So there's a lot of really good comedy, but I like the idea of course, attaching it to a good cause, and really part of a legacy, for a young woman who was obviously very cool, who died too soon because of cancer. So, my grandmother died last year because of cancer.
Sorry to hear.
She had what they call the meat eater's cancer. Or sorry, no, it was the year before last. Goodness gracious. Which is colon cancer, meat eater's cancer, whatever you want to call it. And but she was 80-something years old, lived a full life. She was ready. There were, everyone had opportunity for closure and things along those lines. Sometimes this stuff comes up, and then it's just like, psh, and it's over. Sometimes you do get a few years, sometimes you don't. And so the idea that we can laugh every day, I think, regardless, because even if it's our last day, don't we want it to be one of laughter?
Yes.
So I really like the idea behind this. I think it's really cool that you started it. What do people expect to see at this event on April 2nd?
So with this event, don't expect it's going to be some basic. Don't expect at this event to not be somewhat offended by a few things, because that's a pretty big thing with us, that there are no boundaries. There are no. We need
that's
to keep
comedy.
It real.
Yeah.
It really is comedy. We touch on subjects of religion. I even touch up on some cancer and different things like that. And there is no reason to be upset by any topic, because every topic needs to be discussed.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's probably the coolest thing about comedy, is that there is nothing off limits.
Yeah.
I mean, people will make jokes about any and everything, and that's the one place where it's acceptable, because everyone has sort of agreed when you go to watch a comedy show that there's no boundaries.
Politically correct.
Yeah, it's just about fun and having fun, and if one person laughs, that justifies it.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. So I totally get that. So let's see, we're going to be April 2nd. Which is a Saturday, and it's going to be in North Park.
Yes, and North Park.
Yeah, what's the venue?
Till 2.
Till 2.
Till 2 Club in North Park.
And till 2.
Till 2 Club.
So
in
I guess
North
they're
Park.
open till 2? Is that the idea behind the name?
Yeah,
They're open till
yeah.
2? Okay.
And what do you have and who do you have on your rundown so far? I know it's still in the making.
It's pretty set. We've got some of those big names that you were talking about. Jesse Egan, who's
nice.
You've heard of him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Jesse Egan's going to be coming on. Tommy Lucero, I believe you guys had him on as well. Medicinal Mike, Benji Garcia, people that are really just flourishing within San Diego. They're a little bit weed based, just because honestly, with cancer, like weeds is just an amazing thing.
It does
for
help.
it. Medical marijuana is no joke.
Yeah, I've seen Medicinal Mike before. Jesse Egan has been around forever. He won Top Comic, I think, in San Diego a year or two ago. He's also going to be hosting the Tonight in San Diego show.
Exactly.
He just got that gig, so he and I share some mutual friends in the comedy space, like
Perfect.
Mike Vinn and Bob Hansen, who moved to New York, but he's been back a few times since. So it's really cool. So for people to come to the event, what do I need to do? Do I have to buy a ticket? Do I just show up?
You can show up at the door, but it's going to be $10 at the door.
Okay.
If you buy online, it's your best bet, and you can check that out at facebook.com/laughter for a cure.
Okay, cool. I'll put that up on the screen for you.
Yeah, facebook.com/laughter for a cure. About $5 a ticket. And again, at the door, it's $10. But we also have raffle prizes.
Okay.
We do raffle prizes with different local businesses. And it's just $5 a ticket. Goes to a great cause. Everything's going to Teddy Bear Foundation.
Okay, fantastic stuff. Mr. Bacon,
Yeah.
thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate your time. Stick around for more Smarter San Diego TV, where we guarantee to make you smarter than everyone else, commercial free.
Our next guests are making their first appearance here on Smarter San Diego TV. Please welcome real estate professional Gisela Sanchez and her special guests, producer and creator for the finest women in real estate, Marie Antoinette Waite and Steve Matley.
Welcome to the show, guys. Great to have you here. Marie Antoinette.
Yes.
Can I call you M.A.? Does anyone call you that?
No. They call me Marie.
Perfect. So the finest women in real estate, that's kind of your thing, isn't it?
Yes.
So tell us about your organization, what you guys do.
Well, the Finest Women in Real Estate is a group of women in the real estate industry, and they are very dedicated, hardworking women, and they are also in a situation where sometimes they're struggling in life. So it's a combination of, running the business and running their family and experiencing the juggle and the just overall, hardship about the whole thing.
The wholeness
yes,
of the picture. So it's not just about professional success or just about the hardships. It's sort of about the whole picture.
Exactly.
And you promote these women.
I do.
Okay,
Yes.
and that's your thing. And then now Steve, she had this idea for this thing. This is what her company does, and now you're turning it into a TV show.
Right. I helped Marie get her company started because I do business advising. And then as she started building that up, she had an idea to do a reality TV show for it. And so she approached me and said, do you think this can happen? And we decided if we're going to do this, we're not going to do this halfway. We're going to do it the right way and set out, why do we want to do this? And we thought, this is an opportunity to sort of break the mold on what's on reality television. The way they tend to present women is not usually the best aspects of women. They tend to be a lot of catfighting and those type of things. This was to be positive, uplifting, show women at their best, show women in a competitive industry that actually collaborate and work together, which they do, and also teach the audience a little bit about some of what goes on with the real estate agent so they understand it's not just about I go to a listing appointment and then your house sells and I get a check. There's a lot of work that goes behind it, and there's a lot of hours and a lot of sacrifice that these real estate ladies make to make these happen. So Marie approached me, we put together the business model and started casting and put together the investors, and we shot a pilot, and it is now in distribution negotiations.
Wow, that's so cool, isn't it? Because we have some recent experience in the reality show space. I know it's not easy. especially in real estate. Gisela, thank you so much for being here. It's great to see you. It is a lot to do, and you were recently mothered.
Yes, mothered is what I called it.
Babied. She's been babied.
She's newly baby.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
So there's a lot going on. I mean, I could see where you would be a perfect fit for this, but tell us why you want to do it.
I want to do it because I want to encourage women. I know there's a lot of women out there, whether they're realtors or they're mothers or they're in other businesses, but they just don't believe in themselves. And I want to be that encourager to show them that, hey, you can do anything, you know, if you just really put your heart into it. And obviously you're not going to be alone. I do a lot of praying, so that helps me. But yeah, I'm doing it just to really encourage women, you know, and just to lift them up, because we need a voice and we need to encourage one another.
Was it a difficult process for you professionally going through the pregnancy? Was that something where you had some ups and downs?
I have been so busy. I was telling my husband I didn't even get a day off. I was closing the transaction when I was giving birth, and I just kept going. Yeah, I know. But you know, it's the good thing about real estate is that you work from home, and you know, you make your own hours. But yeah, it was difficult, but very rewarding. Difficult when you have a difficult client sometimes, but you just learn to love them even more.
Superhero.
So you delivered twice in one day. That was awesome.
Yeah, I closed it and I don't know what to say there.
She closed escrow and got babied all this.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, that's cool. So you want to lift people up. I mean, that makes sense. I've known you for a long time. That fits you perfectly. And I think that it is important to have something like this. And I like the idea that it is real estate targeted, because I think a lot of people don't understand what does go into a real estate career. And I know for a fact that people don't know what goes into being a mother.
Right.
I mean, the average people, especially guys or people who don't have kids, they have no idea, you know, what goes into that. So combining those two, I mean, being a mother or being a parent is a full-time job. It is by itself. Yeah. In real estate, it's very demanding because, you know, you can say you make your own hours, or you could say your clients make your hours, right? Because they're going to call you any time of the day, and you got to be open. It's not banker's hours when you're in real estate. So I think this is a really great concept. Marie, what do you sort of expect people to see when they watch this show? What do you think their experience, or what do you expect their experience to be like?
What I expect them to experience watching the show is they will be able to connect to their own real life, to where, you know, they can relate to the struggles, they can relate to the dedication that they have in, you know, at their work. Like, for example, if you have someone at the cubicle sitting in there and just, you know, unhappy, and if they come home and watch the reality show, they feel like, wow, these women are struggling and they're, you know, they have more demands in their job, so why should I complain? I should be happy and contented with what I have. So it gives them more inspiration in life. It encourages them to be better at what they're doing. And I think there's a lot of respect for the women in the real estate industry, to where, you know, they can look up to them instead of looking down on them. So, and that's what I wanted to see, is to uplift the status of the real estate agents, because I know I was a real estate agent. I was a very active agent, to where I have put a lot of my time and sacrificed a lot of my time with my family. And so that's where I wanted to see that, you know, these women need recognition. They need a lot of, I would say, a lot of credibility in regards to what they do. And that's not there yet.
So inspiration is the main thing that people will get from watching the show.
Exactly.
Steve, as far as casting and things like that go, can you tell us, what details can you tell us? Because I know everything's sort of in negotiations still.
I will tell you the casting process. We interviewed well over 100 real estate agents in 5 different counties, actually, all over Southern California. We came up with 14. The criteria really was, these are women that are good at what they do. They may not be top producers, but they are top producers in the making, at least. They have clearly articulated goals. They are women of integrity in what they do in their business. They are serious about balancing their home life and their professional life, and all of them have absolutely fascinating backstories of obstacles that they've overcome to get to where they are. And that is what we can use to help promote them, but also to inspire the audience and let that person sitting at home say, you know what, if these women can do it, I can do that too. Maybe if I'm not happy with where I am, I can change my life, and I can do what these women are doing. They've overcome the obstacles, and I don't even have those kind of obstacles in my life.
Okay. All right, makes sense. So as far as launch date, we don't have anything like that necessarily?
It's currently in negotiations with a major network and also some overseas distribution, so stay tuned, and it's coming soon to a television near you.
Okay, coming soon. And Gisela, from your perspective, are you ready to have cameras in your face and people to see what's going on in your world?
You're basically inviting everybody in. I think it'll be interesting. I'm open to it. Hopefully, you know, they're going to see the good, the bad, and everything, but there's not too much bad that I hope there isn't. But we'll see. But
keeps it real.
Yeah, it keeps it real.
Keeps it real.
And we want to be real, and it's fun.
Yeah, a real reality show. Imagine that.
That's a real one.
It's going to be with no cat fights.
Yeah.
That's going to be amazing.
That'll be
well, thank you guys so much for coming today and telling us about it. We look forward to seeing the show and wish you all very much success. Really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And stick around for more Smarter San Diego TV, where we guarantee to make you smarter than everyone else, commercial free.
Our next guest is a real estate debate champion and one of San Diego's up-and-coming young stars in real estate. Please welcome to the show, Jason Casa Te.
Mr. Casa Te, how do you do?
I do well. I don't know. Did I clap during that part too?
You can. Okay. Yeah, everyone's clapping. Our audience is
Good.
clapping right now.
Thank you.
Social media and real estate today.
Yes.
Is the subject.
Yeah.
And I would actually, you know, I know I wrote this, up and coming young stars, but you had you're here now officially as of last year.
I mean,
you proved yourself.
I mean, I'm always trying to go further.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good year.
Yeah, good year for you. Good for you, man. I remember the old days when you were showing us apartments in downtown years and years ago.
You know what?
It's like, this guy's got something.
I did. I showed you lease properties in downtown, like my first couple months in the business.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Started from the bottom.
That's right.
Yeah, now we're here.
Sorry we never released anything from you, by the way.
It's okay. It's okay. I got to know
you.
you.
A gift card.
Yeah, started from the bottom. Now we're in the middle. Right?
Yeah.
I want to talk about your show because you do your own little show.
I do.
Ask a Realtor.
You don't have to call it little.
Well,
but I mean, yes, I do.
I mean, it's a show.
Yeah, it is.
You know, it's your own show.
It's a show.
Ask a Realtor.
#
Ask a Realtor.
Yeah.
Tell us about the show. What's it about?
Thanks. Yeah. I mean, early on when I started, I wanted to get my face out there. You know, that was kind of the big thing in real estate. You want to be seen. You don't want to be a secret agent.
Right.
So I was thinking, you know, what can I do to get my face out there? And, you know, I was running into a lot of questions out in the field. You know, what is condo litigation? What is X, Y, Z? And I thought, what a better way to set up a show where someone can go on Twitter or whatnot and ask me anything. And I would just be there to answer it. And so, you know, I think realtors get a rep sometimes for being the gatekeepers of this information and whatnot. And maybe it's my millennial self that just wanted to put it all out there, transparency, you know. So we're at 11 episodes now. And my goal here in 2016 is to put out at least 25 more. And, you know, it's 2 or 3 answers per show. And yeah, so we have a nice little collection of answers.
So is it just on Twitter? So if I'm like listening to the show, watching this show right now, I want to ask you a question. Can I go on Twitter and just like #Ask a Realtor and then put my question?
Yeah,
That's
the best way to do it. I mean, you can also find me. If nobody asks me a question on Twitter for that whatever time frame, I'll go online and I'll see what people are talking about, or I'll use stories from my from my personal life of people asking me questions in the field. So I've pulled from everywhere. People have asked me on Facebook and whatnot, but Twitter is the kind of the key. Use that #Ask a Realtor, and you can pretty much ask me anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now with you and I both kind of had the same social media inspiration, Gary Vaynerchuk.
Yeah.
Gary Vaynerchuk.
Vaynerchuk. That's right.
Or Gary V.
Gary V.
Tell me about your inspiration from Gary V.
You know, and I didn't know that you had this same kind of origin, but I read the book Crush It, and I read his book Crush It, and that's what really turned me on to using social media to spread the word, you know. And at that point in my career, I kind of thought social media was just for talking to friends and whatnot, you know, staying in touch with your parents. But I could use this for business and really, you know, reach out to clients, whether it be past clients or prospective clients. And the book Crush It really changed my perspective on that. And then from there, I kind of researched him, and I found the Ask Gary Vee show, which was basically what I blatantly ripped off to start Ask a Realtor. And so, you know what I mean? If it's not broke, don't fix it. And it's worked. And so on the show, I'll actually do a lot of the same mannerisms, you know, that he did to set up the show, but with my twist on it. And so, and then, you know, now for the last 3 years, I've just kind of engulfed everything he spits out, because he's really a kind of a dominant force in the marketing world.
He's a trailblazer for sure in social media, and he's one of those people who's like, hey, you know, these are the things I'm doing that are working. He doesn't hide anything or try to keep any secrets inside.
Yeah.
His whole thing is basically, it's okay if everyone knows the same amount that I do, because I'll outwork everybody.
100%. And I feel like I'm trying to use that in real estate too. You know, I've done a couple panels, I've done a couple, even in my videos, where I'll spill all my secrets. I'll say, you know, this is exactly what I did to get this 3-deal thing, you know, whatever it may be. And I don't care if other real estate agents are listening. I like to help other real estate agents, because I know at the end of the day, they're still not me. So if everybody's trying to copy you, you know, they're always just going to be right behind you. And if you're the one trailblazing the thing, you've got the edge.
Yeah.
And Gary Vee, I mean, that guy's worth, you know, X amount of whatever, and he owns this mega corporation, and he still will talk to you on Twitter or talk to you on Snapchat and tell you exactly what he's doing, because he's confident in himself that he's the man with the ideas.
Yeah.
And he'll, you know, transparency again goes back to that. Just share what you're doing.
Yeah. Personal replies too. It's really neat
Totally.
to kind of get his personal replies. I mean, he tries to get back to everybody. It's really interesting.
Absolutely.
I did the same thing, read Crush It, which is about 100 pages.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a simple book.
Yep.
I think it was he wrote it in like 06, 07,
Yeah.
08, somewhere in there. And it was at the very early stages of social media. And what he was basically telling you to do is like get out there and do it now, and do it every day, and do it for as long as it takes.
Absolutely.
Because he did how many episodes of Wine Library TV before?
1,000.
It was 1,000.
1,000. And this was back when YouTube first started, like in 04, 05. I mean, he had, I don't think it was a cell phone camera. It was probably just a normal little video recorder and bad lighting and a bad mic, but he did it, and he did it over and over and over again when he was getting 1 view and 10 views and 20 views, because he was building up his audience at that point. And that's really, he has a couple other videos called 1 is Greater Than 0. And that's been a huge inspiration to me, because I'm like, no matter what I'm doing, you know, I'm getting 10 views on these videos, that 10 is better than 0.
Yeah.
And no matter what is going on, I need to be building up that view count and whatnot, and just getting my name out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
1,000
question.
episodes of Wine Library TV he did.
Yeah, and that was really before anyone knew who he was. You know, he
yeah.
was just a guy who knew he owned a wine store and knew everything about wine. Everything
Yeah.
about wine. It was really impressive.
Exactly.
To watch that show. If you like wine, it's kind of a crazy show to go back and watch
Yeah.
some of the old Wine Library TV episodes. Really, really neat.
Yeah.
So here's the big question with social media and real estate. Is it worth it? And this is the question that people ask me all the time. Like, should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? Do I need to open an Instagram, a Snapchat, a Twitter, and also do Facebook? And when am I going to find time to do all this? So, I mean, I'm just curious from your perspective, do you think that all this effort in the social media, do you think it has worked, or are you just expecting that it will work one day?
100% has worked.
Has worked.
Yeah, so it's 100% worth it, and it has worked. Last year alone, and I mean, I don't want to get too into it, but yeah, we did, I closed 2 deals from Twitter. These are clients that I picked up that were not clients. And it was just by listening in the ecosystem of Twitter, using it correctly. I think a lot of realtors, especially, they've, you know, to go borrow a Gary Vee, they throw a lot of right hooks. You know what I mean? They use Twitter and they promote their new listing and they promote their new blog, but they never are listening to what people are saying or watching it. And then they blame Twitter for not working. Well, you know, don't blame the arrow, blame the archer, you know, or whatever. Yeah. So I think, you know, what I did with that is I sat and I used Twitter search and I said San Diego condo. You know, just typical. What would people say? San Diego, buy a condo in San Diego. And I start reading through what people are saying. I want to buy a condo in San Diego. Thinking about buying a condo in San Diego, and then you're just there to reply. Just have a conversation, right? And stuff like that. is really what connects with people, I think. And just using social media the right way. Stop just getting out there and just spewing all your stuff, and get in and interact with people.
Yeah.
Just like you would in the real world.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I don't walk up to groups of people and just say, I'm Jason Cassidy, here's me, and just throw it all out there. You know, I walk up and I start a conversation. You know, I start a conversation, and then I get to know them, and then from there we develop a relationship.
You connect with them.
Absolutely.
So you don't just walk up to them and flick your business card off their forehead? That's not how you handle it?
I've done it a couple times, but no, usually I don't. I have thick business cards. That would hurt. I try to be nice about it.
So what you're talking about there is a really important point, not just in business but in life, which is listening.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there's no question the homeowners, home buyers, or anyone out there, people, want to be heard.
Yep.
They want to know that someone is actually listening to what they're saying. So if that's the first experience someone has with you, I could see totally, tweeting something, expecting to get answers from some friends and things like that. And if a professional was there listening and coming in, I could see immediately trusting that person and going, wow, they're listening to what I'm saying here. So that makes sense. So it has worked. You expect that it will work, and it's worth it. Do you do all social medias?
Yeah, you have your bigs, your Facebook, your Instagram, and in my opinion, your Twitter and LinkedIn. And those are kind of my 4 bigs that I really focus on. And then you have some fringe stuff that I try, and I see if it works for me, and if it doesn't, I can leave it, But at least I've tried it, and I've tried the ecosystem. So I do, I have a Pinterest account and a Snapchat account, but I don't know yet how that's going to work for my business. I do try to become part of the ecosystem and learn about it, but I am very visible on kind of your big. I believe it's important to have a big social media strategy, and it's not your end-all be-all, by the way, and especially as a realtor. Yeah. It's like, working out and dieting, 70% of it is your diet. That's still going out and meeting people and networking and working. 30% is your working out. That's your online strategy, whether it be Zillow or email marketing. And then you've got your supplements, right? It's just a small little portion that's going to put you over the edge. That's your social media right now. But you can't ignore it. That you need that little bit. I mean, you're talking about Facebook. You have the opportunity to kind of stalk and be in on 500 or 10,000, however big your sphere is, past clients, future clients, and just be learning and watching and interacting. I mean, it's crazy. You can't call that many people, and be productive. You have an opportunity to do it. I think social media has to be part of your marketing strategy.
Research is huge, especially on Facebook. No question about it. Jason Cassidy, thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Don't forget the hashtags, man. Ask a realtor. This is the guy. He will answer your questions, and you might make his really kick-butt videos. Stick around for more. Smarter San Diego TV, where we guarantee to make you smarter than everyone else, commercial free.
Our next guest is joining us on the orange carpet for the first time. Please welcome from Reef Point Real Estate, Alanna Strei.
Welcome to the show, Alanna. How are you doing?
Thank you so much, Derek. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
It's a very exciting topic because, first of all, thank you for your service to the country.
My pleasure.
7 years in the Navy as an officer. Pretty impressive. You just got out just a few months back.
Yes.
And now you're serving people in the real estate realm. So today we're going to talk about using the VA loan to buy multi-unit properties, which is really an interesting idea. Where I'm from in Missouri, there are a lot more multi-unit properties. So like duplexes, 3, 4plexes, those things are just like everywhere. And it's a common idea for people to go and buy those as like your first home. Live in one side, rent out the other, and then eventually buy another one and rent out both sides, and that's kind of what people do. Here it's a little bit more difficult because there aren't as many, but some of the people who have the best opportunities are people who have VA eligibility. Right, because they have the 0 down component. And typically when you're buying, like an investment property or something like that, you have 20% down. In this case, as long as you're living in one unit, right, you can use it as a primary loan. Is that right?
That's absolutely right, Derek. And the awesome opportunity, like you explained, is that there aren't as many multi-units here in San Diego. We're just a much more compact city. And at our price points, it's a lot more difficult to be a starter home and be upwards of $500,000 for your very first home when you're trying to buy a multi-unit. The no down for a VA loan really eliminates that hardship and gives you that opportunity to buy it as your very first home with no money down.
No money down and no mortgage insurance.
Exactly.
Let's talk about how important that is, because even if you were, let's say, not VA eligible, you were going FHA, you're buying a duplex or a triplex, and you were able to do 3.5% down, which would be the minimum, right? You're still going to have to pay $500,000 down. And if you were to buy a multi-unit, you're going to have to pay $500,000 down, which would be the minimum, right? You're still going to have to pay $500,000 down, which would be the minimum, right? you're going to have massive mortgage insurance, which is going to eat into your ability to make it pencil in the long run. But with VA, you don't have. Honestly, I didn't even know that you could buy a 4-unit with a VA loan.
The most exciting part about it too is the loan limits go up incrementally for every unit that you buy. So while you have a single family loan limit, it goes up more for a duplex, more for a triplex, and it's more than $1 million for nothing down for a 4-unit home in San Diego. So you can actually get in there and become a landlord as your very first purchase and make sure that your rent and your mortgage payments are being covered by someone else's rent while you're living there as your primary residence.
So this may sound crazy to some of the people out there who are VA eligible that might be watching this show right now going, wait a minute, $1 million? How am I going to qualify for $1 million, based on my earnings right now? And it doesn't have to be people who are necessarily active duty either. It could be people who are all doing their own career now. They're just eligible for a VA loan. How am I going to get $1 million loan? But this can happen, right? It's based on the property.
Exactly.
As much as it is based on the person's qualifications, right?
So obviously you speak to your lender about it and they'll go through your personal finances to make sure you are capable of qualifying for that loan. But the way that the loans and the way that the multi-units are listed, they explain to you the potential rental income. And that's how the lenders decide whether or not you can purchase that home and whether or not they're going to issue you a loan for that home. So it's not just whether or not your credit is good enough or whether or not any savings that you have or any past credit history is good enough. What's important too is how much earning potential does that home have for you, which is what your realtor will be helping you as you're looking at these homes anyways. So it makes it more confident and an easier way for you to buy that home.
Yeah, because if you have, let's say, 3 of the units rented out, especially in this rental market, you probably have almost the whole mortgage covered.
I personally rent my second bedroom while I live there, and I use a short-term rental service, and it pays my mortgage entirely while I live there. So my next purchase is going to be a multi-unit, and I intend to have that also cover my mortgage, of course. So it's certainly doable here in San Diego. It's an incredible opportunity.
It's a huge advantage because the reality is that we hire men and women to go protect this country, serve this country, and we don't pay them enough money. Let's be honest. They are not paid enough money for the sacrifices that they make. And I'm not just talking about sacrificing their life either. It's sacrificing family and time and all these things that don't even get put in the equation. If that weren't in the equation, you still wouldn't be paid enough. So they're way underpaid. But there are a couple of little places where they can take advantage of eligibility for benefits like this, which is the VA loan, and how you can take something like this and use it to build wealth. And it might be hidden in a little nook and cranny, but that's what we're exposing today. We're exposing the opportunity for people who are VA eligible to buy multi-unit properties and accumulate wealth, ultimately. That's the idea, right? So you mentioned something there, Airbnb, which is, there's several other sites out there that are doing that type of rental. I forget the one that I use all the time.
VRBO.
VRBO is the one, that we use. So can you do that? Is that a legitimate strategy? If I have a 4-unit property or a 3 or a 2-unit property to Airbnb or VRBO the other side?
So the biggest struggle people really find in San Diego is if they buy a condo or if they buy something that has an HOA, it's limited in there how long they can have a tenant, a minimum of 30 days, something like that, and that eliminates your ability to do Airbnb for briefer periods. When you are your own HOA because you own every unit in that complex, you decide how long someone needs to stay there to actually meet that limit. So it really opens up the possibilities for you. If you own a single family home and you decide to rent out a bedroom, so be it. No one else can decide that. There is no HOA. This actually gives you the opportunity to have 4 units, perhaps have a normal tenant, a standard tenant in the 2 of the units, and then do a short-term rental for that 3rd unit while you live in the 4th one. And then you're alleviating any strain on the budget you might have for when you don't have the tenants occupied. You can always short-term rental it and just keep it busy. San Diego is one of the highest markets for Airbnb. We're one of their beta markets for everything they do because of the interest in guests coming out here to stay and enjoy San Diego and the amazing things we have to offer.
Interesting. So Airbnb is sort of an intermediate in between tenants potentially. That I never even thought about that because sometimes that's the biggest scare. It's like someone says, okay, hey, I'm moving out. They give you 30 days notice and you're like, I'm so busy with life. I don't have time to go find a new tenant, show the property, et cetera, et cetera. I guess you could just have it sort of always listed and then just turn it on and turn it off on Airbnb, right?
This company, because of its success, subsidiary companies have sprouted that are there just to serve Airbnb's needs. So there are other companies like Pillow and other home management services that will flip your house for you. So you can have a property management company that takes care of everything. And of course, they want it to be occupied as much as possible so they make as much money as possible when they're charging a commission percentage. So you don't have to worry about any of it and you can make sure that your properties or your additional units are making as much money as possible for you. It's an incredible opportunity, like I said.
Wow. Plus you get more dollars per days.
Absolutely.
If you use that method. So do you think it's smart for people to do that year round, or is it just during certain peak times, certain peak seasons where the Airbnb really works out for these rental properties?
I've had a phenomenal amount of luck with mine. I'm consistently booked about 80%. As I said before, it's my second bedroom and I'm making about $2,000 a month on it. So I obviously can't guarantee anyone else's success, but I do think the market and the need in San Diego is there. If you're down at the beach, there aren't hotels down there. If you're in La Jolla, if you're somewhere like that, $300 a night is starting for hotels.
Totally.
Tower 23, somewhere like that, $400 is easy, and that's Pacific Beach. If you could stay at someone's home or stay in their second bedroom and you're just going to be at the beach all day anyways, wouldn't you pay $100 a night before taxes? I mean, hotel taxes themselves add an extra $50 per night.
No question. Yeah, you don't have to pay any of that stuff. It's really, really cool. And we've got the loan limits on the screen right now, which I think are a little shocking probably to people who are VA eligible out
They're
there,
incredible.
whether they're active duty or retired veterans. You know, it's an amazing what the opportunity is in this realm. But beyond that, there is one other little trick, right? Because if you find the perfect 4-unit and it's 1.2 million, let's say, just above the loan limit here that's available through the VA loan, what's the deal with that? There's a special piece of love there too,
All
right?
you need to come up with is 25% of the difference down. So
25% of the difference.
The difference, that's it. So if you want to buy something that's $100,000 higher than whatever the loan limit was, so say you're looking to buy something that's 1.25 million or what have you, whatever the exact $100,000 higher increment is, all you need to do is come up with $25,000. So you can get a $2 million loan for a 4-unit property for around $200,000 down. If you didn't have the VA loan limit, you'd have to come up with 25-30% to get a loan for that value. The VA really has your back, and it's an amazing benefit that service members receive, both while they're active duty and after they're out, and they can use it more than once. So if you use that VA loan limit and then you finance out of it, or you've gotten enough equity in your home that you've decided it's time to sell, you can actually reuse your VA loan limit, and it's only a slightly higher funding fee. So it's still an amazing opportunity that isn't afforded to non-service members.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. Really appreciate you coming in and sharing this great knowledge.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for your service to this country. Really, really cool stuff.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been awesome.
Thanks, Alanna. Stick around for more Smarter San Diego TV, where we guarantee to make you smarter than everyone else, commercial free.
Our next guest is one of the top listing agents in all of San Diego. Please welcome back our good friend, Billy Colestock.
Golf clap for Billy. What's up, buddy?
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.
This is the first time we've ever had you to ourselves on the show.
It's exciting.
I mean, you bring great guests, though. We really appreciate that. Yeah. Advocating for the Del Cerro community. Really important work being done there. Lots of cool stuff happening there. Jay last month was awesome.
He was amazing
on the show. That's getting a ton of feedback on social media. Today, since I have you to myself, I want to ask you about the market from a more of a macro perspective.
Okay.
Because the market is still being driven. I mean, there's still a lot of activity happening.
Ton.
Everyone kept saying, and has kept saying, myself included, that this has got to stop at some point unless we're going to become the next San Francisco, et cetera. So what do you think personally is driving the market right now?
How many times have we talked about this? I think it's interest rates and inventory.
Yeah?
I mean, it comes down to we have like incredibly low interest rate. I mean, you're still getting underneath the 4s. And then you have the inventory that every year the inventory goes up in the beginning of the year. It just didn't do that this year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's those two factors, supply and demand.
Yeah. I think from when you say inventory, what we're really talking about is how many people are coming to live in San Diego permanently.
Sure.
Every year versus how many people are leaving. The population's growing, about 10,000 people a year.
It shows it even in the numbers, and I don't want to get too statistical, but in January we listed 2,500 homes in San Diego countywide, and we sold 3,100 new pendings in January. So
how's that possible?
We ate into the inventory that we already had.
Yeah.
So does the inventory have an effect on the interest rates?
No.
Or vice versa?
That's totally macroeconomics. So the interest rate's totally based on the demand for bonds, mortgage bonds, investors buying mortgage bonds. And by the way, you can't just go buy mortgage bonds. Like I can't go buy mortgage bonds. You can't go buy mortgage bonds. You have to have some serious cake to buy mortgage bonds. What I mean by that is money. I've looked into it before, wanted to trade mortgage bonds at one point, and you can't do it. You need tens of millions of dollars, and the swings are huge. So it's big boy money that are playing in the mortgage bond market, And they're still buying bonds even though these yields are going down. It's just really interesting.
I don't understand that because the Fed increased rates at that level, but the interest rate when you're buying a home hasn't gone up.
Yeah.
It's not logical.
It doesn't correlate directly necessarily, because you're talking about the overnight lending rate to banks versus the mortgage bond market, right? And there should be a correlation there,
right?
But it's not necessarily directly correlated. Plus, the Fed only raised interest rates 0.25%.
But they want to get it up higher.
Yeah, I think they should. They should if the economy really is put back together. If we're still Humpty Dumpty, and we're still in a million pieces, then yeah, they should keep the rates low. But if we are really put back together and they really believe that, then they should raise interest rates. Because look at what we're getting. I mean, we have to be very aggressive. There's no such thing as a safe investment, which is the reason why all this money has been going into the mortgage bond market from all the big boys with all the cake, right? They're going there because they're like, okay, I'll take 2.5% on this bond. I'll take 3% on this bond,
right,
with the associated risk underlying. Because what else am I going to do?
The challenge though is wages haven't gone up, and job creation isn't what it needs to be if the economy is truly fixed.
Right. And so that's the perplexing thing about the current state of the market is how do we continue to see this rise in prices and still see this demand? I think it's just about the number of people. The number of people in San Diego continues to increase at a rate at which the builders just simply cannot create enough units for us.
It's true. We have so many people who are ready to buy. Plus, it's still affordable with the interest rate. The interest rate makes the home still affordable.
Even though prices are up.
Even though prices are up.
And you've got a great team. Tell me about how your team helps not just your business but your clients.
What we've learned is that we all have specific attributes that make us good at what we do. So what ends up happening is we just really focus on those. I try to tell our team, stay inside your lane, and we'll stay inside of our pod. So what that means is to the consumer is when we're assisting you, we really focus on what our talent is and what we can bring to the transaction so that they can have a better experience. So it's really about what we can create for the client and the experience that we can create.
Yeah.
And it's all about customer service. How can we provide better service?
Right. Well, what I really like is, and what makes me feel very comfortable and confident in recommending Billy, as we did recently to someone from the show who's going to buy a home.
Thank you.
Of course. I truly believe that you're the right guy to talk to. Because in a market like this, if you're a buyer, and let's talk about the buyers for a second. Because if you are a buyer in today's market, you may need your agent to do some dirty work for you. Yep. You may need them to go knock on doors. You say, hey, I want to be in this neighborhood. I want this type of home. You may need the type of agent who's going to go knock on the neighbor's doors and say, hey, are you interested in selling your home? I have someone who wants to buy, or pick up the phone and call those people. And I know that you're willing to do that.
We actually have a client right now that we're doing that exact thing. They missed out on one of the units in the complex, and it's very easy. We're attaching the pre-approval letter to a letter, letting people know, and we're dropping that inside the neighborhood. We're getting callbacks.
Yeah.
And so I mean, we do go above and beyond, and that is something that because we have the team, we're able to do. Whereas if you're a solo agent, you don't have time to be doing that plus life where we have manpower, we have boots on the ground, basically.
Yeah, you got horsepower.
We got horsepower.
Serious horsepower with the team, SoCal Lifestyle. So, as a buyer in this market, that's obviously important.
Sure.
What are some of the other things that buyers need to know in order to be successful in this market right now?
Well, you know what? I mean, obviously, contact us, or contact somebody who's a professional. You know, in this market, because there's, such lack of inventory, and the inventory that's not being bought is going, at lightning speed. We're listing a property and it's gone by the end of the weekend. You need to be working with someone who's on top of their game so that you're knowing about the properties when they come on the market, if not even before.
Is that why it's good sometimes to work with a listing agent like yourself, because you're going to list a lot of properties?
Sure.
So if I'm a buyer and you know what my needs are, and then you get one that you're going to list, that's going to help me out, right?
It's going to help you out, but you're limiting yourself to only the inventory that I create. Whereas if you're working with a buyer's agent, you're going to be opening it up to all of it. So it's a lot more effective and efficient to be working with somebody who's really focusing on your search.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Especially because now, what's really difficult in the people that I've been talking to lately is they actually do want to sell. It makes sense for them to change locations,
right,
or to change property types or styles. And they're ecstatic about the fact that they can get so much money for their house.
Yes.
But then looking at what houses are available,
sure,
few and far between, and how high the prices are, it's hard to make that transition. So how do you, in a market like this, how do you coach someone who's in that situation where, you know, they're super happy about the sell side, but the buy side looks like it's going to be a challenge?
We're going to look at the pendings when I talk to that seller. The pendings are really what they need to be looking at, because it shows the type of properties that are coming on the market, but they go off as fast as they come on. So the reality is if they're looking on Zillow or Truly or Redfin or whatever they're looking on, they're looking at all the old inventory that's not selling, that they don't like, nor does anybody else. What's selling is the inventory that's coming on and going under contract. That's that we listed 2,500 homes and we sold 3,100. We ate into that existing inventory, but that 3,100 was the new inventory. It was the new stuff that came on. So we're going to look at that pendings, show them what's available.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. Does it make sense? I mean, I know at one point a lot of properties were falling out of escrow.
Mm-hmm.
Does it make sense as a buyer to keep an eye on some of those pendings and maybe even submit backup offers in this market?
Absolutely. I mean, there's still, a percentage of homes that are falling out. You definitely want to make sure that if you missed out on it, don't give up hope. That buyer may not qualify, they may not perform, who knows what the situation is.
It could be a PITA. You know what that means, Rebecca?
I don't.
Pain in the ass.
Okay.
Yeah, they could be a PITA, right? And in a market like this, sellers don't have to deal with PITAs.
We're talking about some pocket here? No.
You know, because, I mean, it happens all the time where, you know, somebody's, you know, in escrow,
right,
and the buyer has certain contingencies and they have certain performances they have to make. And a lot of times, you know, especially if they don't have very good representation, they might start asking for extra stuff or asking for extra time or not performing or getting past contingency periods and then asking for repairs. If they're a PITA, then, you know, being the backup buyer, and if you're there every day saying, hey, did they fall out yet? We're here, we're ready to go, we're ready to buy this house. That might be like one of the little hidden opportunities in this marketplace, if deals are still falling out. I know they were a lot, you know, last year especially.
Right.
I haven't heard that much this year though.
I mean, it happens. I mean, it happens. Most buyers, when they do pull the trigger, the agent does keep the deal together, but at the same time, you're right. I mean, don't give up hope. I mean, if it's the house for you, keep watching it. Obviously, you want to be looking at other homes and find, if you can find another one in the similar style or whatever met your lifestyle, you want to make sure that you're going after those houses as well. But they do fall out.
Yeah.
Homes, and they're good opportunities.
No question about it.
Yep.
Billy Colestock, anything else we should know about the San Diego real estate market right now? Are we the next San Francisco?
Yes. No, I love that we have the Chargers are staying. Let's just say that.
Certainly doesn't hurt.
No. Plus all the development that's going on downtown, I do think that we are an up-and-coming market.
I do too. Totally agree. Billy Colestock, thank you so much for your time. Really
Thanks,
appreciate
guys.
your expertise. Hey, great show, guys. That's a wrap. Jade, what's your schedule look like? Do you mind breaking down the set?
Not today, Derek. I'd love to, but there's waves out there. I gotta go. Angela? Nikki?
Yeah, I gotta go beat traffic. And I think Nikki's making something up there.
Look at this. We did this. We did all of this.